Hi. I was doing live reactions for Fear the Walking Dead, and I mean, most people didn't really seem to care. And then I ran out of time anyway. Like, it's hard to binge watch and record in a decent place with lighting and everything. It was just too much work. So I stopped after episode 3, but I wanted to give some quick thoughts on what I thought about the rest of the season. Um, and I'm trying to remember
I
what
think we know what your thoughts are on the rest of the season based on your facial expressions in the video for the one you did. I watched that like back after you had done it, and I was just so hilarious. Like you were just so obviously irritated by everything that
uh,
was going on. I was irritated too. I did not like this show for the first 2 seasons really at all.
I mean, it was hard to pay attention. It got better as it went
It
along.
got way better like towards the end of season 2.
I didn't care about Ophelia. Like, it's like, did she just jump off the building? Like, I was hoping she had, like, jumped off the building,
Oh
and then
god,
she didn't.
it's morbid.
Well, I mean, someone did jump off the building, or
Uh,
the bride's mother, but I was hoping that was Ophelia because I don't know. I just don't care about her. Alicia, I don't have anything against her personally, but she reminds me of Miley Cyrus, so she kind of annoys me just on that level, like just visually looking at her. Keep expecting to like see her on the wrecking ball or some shit. And then Nick is like, I don't know. I want to punch him in the face. Like, I don't know. He's just like, he abandons his family and stuff. And yeah, okay, his mom's kind of wacky and overprotective, but that's like kind of what moms do. Like, this isn't anything new. And she's finally getting to mother him, like, after, like, he can't really run away for the most part. And then he finds a way to run away again. And then he gets captured and shit. So that goes bad. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Because that was the end of season 2. No, that wasn't the end of season 2. That was the beginning of season 3. I'm jumping ahead because like it was such a blur the rest of season 2. I think there were a lot of cues for Madison being of some kind of relation to Rick, not necessarily his sister, but she has a lot of Rick tendencies, like later seasons Rick. Like, we'll kill him if we have to. We're gonna take this place, and you know, like she picks up strays, like Strand. She wants Strand to come along with them with the family. Oh right, Chris. So Chris died, and I was happy about that. That guy was such a douchebag. Like I was hoping his dad would punch him in the face just one good time. Like maybe if he had just had one good ass whooping, he wouldn't have been so crazy. I don't know. I felt bad for Travis, right? And that was like basically season 2. Yes. Oh, and I wasn't mad at Travis for killing those 2 guys either. Like
no, those
that
guys
was
are pieces of shit.
that was
Yeah,
justified. Like, why are they trying to stop him? They should just be like, well, I would have been like shrugging, like, hey,
yeah,
you know.
they deserved it.
Yeah, it was unfortunate what happened to that guy who accidentally got killed trying to stop Travis. So that's like somebody snaps off like that, you just move the good people out of the way. You don't jump in the middle. Unless you got like a gun or something, you don't jump in the middle. You just stand back and make sure no one else gets hurt, because that's all you really can do at that point. Like Travis was nuts, and he might as well have been hyped up on PCP. Like you just weren't gonna stop him, clearly. Right. Okay. So season 3. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. We're gonna watch the rest later. We'll recap those.
I'm gonna do my best to try and not spoil it for her because I've seen up until episode 6, whereas she's only seen episode 1 and 2. So, first of all, wow, this season is so much better than the first 2. So when this show came out, my God, like I remember the day when they announced on comicbook.com that AMC had announced that there was going to be a spinoff, and I was so fucking stoked, right? Because I'm like, yes, we're gonna have another Walking Dead show, and I thought in my head, I was like, there's no way they could possibly screw this up. Like they have like the same executive producers, and like obviously they have access to great actors and great writers and all this stuff. And I actually really liked the pilot, and then it just kind of was downhill from there, in my opinion. I didn't like. I thought that the characters were just not that likable, and I thought there was a lot of just like problems with the way that the story was laid out, and just the confusion over like who was the main character, and I didn't get it. And
I think, I'm gonna I'm gonna use a Tyra Banks phrase. They were quote unquote resting on pretty, right? They they were resting on the brand, I think, and it was very helter skelter, and you could tell like it wasn't gelling together. But they seem to have gotten things definitely together season 3. Just as a visual sense, it looks more well done. It looks more professional. It feels more cinematic.
It feels kind of like Walking Dead season 2 to me. The cinematic style. They're using a lot of the the handheld cameras with that like kind of slightly jerky style that makes you feel like you're in the room, like listening to the person. And they've also, I think the director also, the direction is way better because the actors are clearly more comfortable. I mean, it's slowed down. The pacing is like much more like even. They're letting the actors like play with the lines more. Like it feels like more like a real conversation. Whereas like I felt the first 2 seasons were just very rushed and kind of like unrealistic.
Also,
getting back to like the rawness that made me fall in love with The Walking Dead in the first place.
I just want them to have. I know Atticus Ross did the titles. I don't know who's doing the musical scores for the episodes, but I just want them to bring in Trent Reznor for 5 minutes and just give it a little. Trent Reznor is my default, but he's really great at like mood music, like just non-generic mood stuff. I mean, it's not too shabby, and. Right. The season opener, I'm sorry, maybe it's just me as a minority, but I totally saw like that army stuff coming, like they were being totally racist. For a second, I was like, maybe they're just separating the men and the women. And then when I saw Madison and Alicia in the office, I was like, nah, this is totally like a racial thing. They think he's Mexican. And I was just confused. I was like, doesn't Madison know the game? Like, why isn't she being like the teary, veil-eyed white woman? Oh no, white woman troubles, that's my husband. Like, don't say we're together. Like, that would be straight up my husband, even if that was just my friend or even my acquaintance. Like, if that was Victor Strand, I would have been like, no, that's my husband. Oh my God, what's happening? Like crying and shit. Like, she was way too calm. I would have definitely played on his emotions. Like, oh no, we're from Chicago, or some like. We're American. Like, I would have emphasized being American and that, we were married. Like, oh, we're together. Yeah. And what was Travis? What was he like? So what kind of Mexican are you? He should have been like, I'm not Mexican at all. I'm an American. I was born in Ohio. Like, I feel like you can tell when you're dealing with like a racist piece of shit. And that guy, Troy, like, I don't really know his full character right now. But from what I've seen, he clearly has a little tick going with like, at the very least with Mexicans or dark-skinned people, right?
Well, he asked Travis specifically. He opened up the conversation. He's like, "Are you Mexican?" Like, he didn't say like like, what ethnicity are you? He said Mexican. Like, it was the first thing out of his mouth, which I don't know. I guess is like somewhat of a reasonable question considering they intercepted them at the Mexican border, and he's like kind of the color of a Mexican. So I don't know.
Why should that matter?
Well, because he was just wanted to know if he's from Mexico or like if he was born here.
I feel like he had a list. It's like Mexican, check.
Yeah, probably.
You're gonna die.
But that kind of seemed like. I mean, I feel like based on where they were, like right next to the Mexican border, I feel like they would have already like had a lot of Mexicans anyway. So it just kind of that was weird to me. But you also noticed that like when they were in inside of kind of like the kill room, like right before they were about to get like shot and experimented on, like there was like an Asian guy next to him. Like everybody in there,
mostly minority. I mean, there was like a couple of white people.
Yeah. So,
but it was mostly minorities.
Yeah.
And like if I was like I wouldn't. Like, now is not the time to be like PC and stuff about it. Just go ahead and just, hey, I'm an American just like you. Like, I wouldn't, like, I don't know. I just, and maybe that's just me speaking as a black person. Like, I'm going right to circumvent that situation as much as humanly possible. And I think Madison, it was just shocking to me that she didn't play it up. Like, maybe I assume they were married, but apparently they weren't. They were just together. But if you're talking to someone like that, yeah, that's my husband, that's my spouse, we've been married for like, that's her father.
Well, I think
like,
didn't she say that he was her husband at the ranch, like when?
Yeah, but when it didn't matter, when old dude had her in the office, she was just like, weird. We're together.
That was weird. I don't know why
she said very very lackluster. We're together.
That was weird. I didn't really notice that, but now that I think about it,
it's like very deadpan.
Yeah.
Like, clearly this man's life is in danger. Maybe you should step it up a little bit.
I feel like she didn't really care. But I don't know. Madison is like really bizarrely cold. Like she has a very like sociopathic type of a vibe about her. Specific. I mean, she obviously has like no problem killing people, and
they deserve it.
I find it's somewhat disturbing how like easily she was able to adapt to this world. It's like most people have like problems having to become ruthless enough to actually kill another human being in order to survive. Like fucking Glenn, like he didn't for 6 years because he had such a problem with it, right? Like Madison was like, Madison was just like, well, it's the apocalypse, gotta kill people, like no problem at all, right?
Well, that's how she's like Rick in that it's family first.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to disrupt my family, you got to go. And that's just kind of her mentality right now.
That is a similarity. She also like when they told her that Travis had died, it's like she cries for like 15 seconds and then just like shuts it off.
But then she goes later to go vomit.
Well, I know, but I just thought it was like weird the way that she like seemed so upset, but was like able to just like, you know, like, oh, no more, that's enough, and just turns back like all cold. It was weird. It's like robotic almost.
I will give her some slack in that the whole Nick situation happened, so she's trying to focus on not getting him shot or getting them kicked out. And then she goes in private to go cry a little bit more and throw up and stuff. So, like, I mean, food, like wasting food like that, you know, it had to be a serious deal for her to just toss her cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to give her some elbow room. Like I feel like Madison's probably a very private person. It's very hard for her to be emotional. Like even with Travis, and he was like, "Are you with me?" And she just kind of looked at him like, you know, I just think she's just not a very emotional person. But she has emotion.
So speaking of Travis, man, like, you know, it sucks that he died.
Yeah.
But wow, what a great last episode. So I, you know, one of like actually my frustrations with the show is that because Travis was listed as the main character, like when they announced the show.
I knew it was Madison though.
Which like I just found so confusing because like I thought Travis was kind of a pussy, honestly. Like he did not strike me as like a person who like I would not have felt confident in him like protecting me if he was like the leader of my group. Like he just doesn't have like that, like the balls to like do really difficult things until the first episode of season 3 when he was like the reason why they escaped, right? He came up with the plan. He like colluded with that other guy who was also being held right next to him, like in that like locker or whatever, before they went into the kill. And then so he like, you know, did that, killed like 2 soldiers, and then like survives a Walker battle royale in like the pit. That was amazing. Like he slaughtered like 40 walkers like with his bare hands. That was fucking awesome. And then, you know,
and
like
didn't get bit.
And he's like, you know, used shotguns and shit, and just like, I mean, it was like all Travis just being a badass the entire episode.
It took for his little bitch son to die.
Exactly. I think that's what triggered it. Yeah, he just snapped out of it like overnight. So,
but still, cool. The only people who deserved it. It wasn't just like random people that he was killing.
No, they all deserved it.
Yeah.
They all deserved it. So that was nice to see, just because like I kept waiting like all throughout the show. I'm just like, oh my god, when is this guy gonna grow a pair? Like, come on, like kill somebody already. Just do it.
What a messed up way to die, though.
Yeah, but you know, I thought that well, there's a reason why that happened, which you haven't seen, so I'm not going to talk about it. But he, you know, a lot of people actually didn't like the way that he died. A lot of people thought that it was like super random and just kind of like, and I didn't see it that way at all. I saw it as like he was. I mean, I feel like he pretty much like did everything that he like wanted to do. And remember, he died right after he like saved Madison and Nick and Alicia and like fucking everyone. He saved the day, and I mean, what more do you like need from a hero before they leave the show? I mean, he saved like every main character of the whole show.
If we're just talking about just the show and not the writers, and you know, Cliff Curtis having to leave to go do other things, we eliminate that. Look, the only reason why Travis died, the only reason why he was on that helicopter instead of helping Madison with those walkers, was to save Nick's half dead girlfriend.
Mhm.
So that sucks. And if I had to choose between her and Travis, I would have chosen Travis.
Mhm.
Like, just leave her. Leave her.
Well, which, by the way, I was actually really surprised. I think the last video that we did, we were talking about this, how, like, they announced that Cliff Curtis is going to be in all fucking 4 Avatar sequels, which is insane. And they didn't say anything about, like, his future with the show. And I read that, and I was just like, dead, immediately dead. I thought he was going to die at the end of season 3. They actually killed him off even faster. And I don't know if anybody watched Talking Dead afterwards, but I just thought, she hasn't seen it, but like his demeanor is just so funny in that episode where he died, because he's like, you can just tell he's like so happy and doesn't care at all that he like got killed off the show. He's just like, I'm out, bitches, I'm gonna make millions, like on all these freaking Avatar movies. That guy got like the sweetest deal ever. I can't wait to see him in all those. But yeah, he had a good out though. I mean, he saved the day, and then he got shot, and he was like at peace with it. He seemed like he was okay. Like he gave Alicia like a good goodbye, and then he just fell back under his own accord. I kind of felt like he went out in his own way, which was like really all you can ask for in one of these shows. I mean, if you die on the show, it's going to be bad. Like, it's just that kind of a show. He went pretty painlessly, I felt like he died instantly when he hit the ground. So
yeah, but his guts were coming out before then.
But he was in shock though. I don't think he was really feeling a whole. He didn't look like he was in a lot of pain though.
Yeah, it was gross though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my insides are coming out. I'll just say this in terms of Cliff Curtis. In my head, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Chappelle's show, but in my head, it's like when Dave Chappelle got Oprah pregnant, and he went to work and just started throwing stuff, and I quit. Like, I feel like that's what Curtis went to AMC with his James Cameron Avatar contract. Like,
I just can't believe, of all the people that got that role, I don't know how he got it, but man, he is going to be so famous after these movies. It's going to be insane. I like Cliff Curtis. I think he's a great actor, and I don't understand why they didn't give him like a stronger role on Fear the Walking Dead. I feel like if they had made him, I
believe he was the guy in Training Day.
Yeah.
Have you ever had your shit pushed back in, guy? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Kudos, yeah.
It's gonna be crazy.
Anything else?
No, that's about it that I can think of. I can't talk about any of the other stuff because you haven't seen it. So we'll make another video once we see those.
Yeah. All right, and then we'll also have more Comic-Con footage and stuff.
Oh yeah, we got to take a lot. We got to do like Facebook Lives and stuff probably too. We should do Facebook Lives.
We'll do it on Living We're Showing.
Yeah. Okay.
Facebook.
Actually, yeah, that's something to look forward to. So we can do Facebook Lives throughout the day. We'll probably take ones from. Well, we can't take them from Hall H. They won't let you. But like on the floor, obviously.
Well, they won't let you during a show. But like, if it's nothing happening, they don't care.
I don't know. Maybe.
Trust me, I know.
If you get kicked out, I'm not coming out with you.
I'm not getting kicked out. I'm still Robi, bitch.
Yeah. No. Be like, sir, do you know her? I don't have no idea.
Nah, you tripping.
We just met today.
He would totally leave me.
I would. Without how hard it is to get into Hall H. Like, I mean, and besides, you're staying in the same hotel as me, so there's not really much you can do. And on that note, we'll talk to you later.